Hello dear students, a very warm good morning to all of you and welcome back in our science session. So in our science session we are discussing about our lesson that is food and digestion. So up till now we have discussed so many points. We have discussed about the food, we have discussed about nutrients, we have discussed about the digestive system and also we have discussed about digestion. So today we will move for the next point from the same lesson. Today we are going to discuss about some more points regarding this lesson. So let's start. First we will discuss about junk food. What is mean by junk food? So there are so many different food items like that: burger, pizza, then we can say cake, cookies, ice cream, some sweets are there, okay. So all these are wafers are there, all these are the food items, those who are tasty, but they are not healthy for our body, they are the unhealthy food, okay. And that type of the food is called as what? Junk food. Okay, what is meant by the junk food? The food which is not good for our health. Okay, the food which is not good for our health, but the food which is unhealthy for us, that type of the food material or the food stuff is called as what? Junk material or the junk food. Why is it so? Why we should not take the junk food? Because that food is tasty, but that food contains the more amounts of the fats and sugar, which is not good for our body, because we know that we have seen fat causes what? Obesity, and it also causes the different diseases. So one should avoid the taking of the excessive junk food. Okay. Now the next one we are going to discuss about good eating habits for proper digestion. Okay. So there should be some habits. If we follow that habits, then it is very good for our body or in the body for the digestion process, for the proper digestion process. Okay. So let's discuss which are the good eating habits which helps for the proper digestion. First one is that we should sit properly and have your food, or you should sit properly and have your food. Okay. Sit on the one place, don't go here and there while eating, just sit quietly on the one place and then have your food. So that we can say that what? Always have your food in a pleasant environment. Okay. Pleasant environment means what? The food or the place where you are having your food, that place should be clean, neat, tidy, there should be no any dirty smell. Okay. So that surrounding where you are having the food, that place should be clean or pleasant, we can say that. Next one is that you should have your food at a regular interval. Now regular interval means what? After certain time you should eat something. Okay, so as you know, in the morning we are having breakfast, then in the afternoon we are having lunch, then after some time again we are having the dinner, or before the dinner in the evening time we are having some snacks. Okay, so after certain time period we are having the food or a regular interval, the gap should be fixed. From that gap we should have the food. Okay, means we can say that after 4 hours we have to eat something like that. That gap should be fixed. According to that interval we should have something. Okay. Next one should eat, or while having the food you should chew the food properly. Okay, we should chew the food properly and then only you have to swallow the food. Don't eat the food in a very hurry, okay, or you should sit quietly, have your food properly, chew it properly and then only swallow the food. Next one is there, one should eat, or our meal should contain the more amount of the vegetables, or one should contain, our food should contain the so many amount of the leafy vegetable, fruits and other food material. Very important. Next one, we should have the balanced diet or eat a balanced diet. Balanced diet means what? The diet which contain all the nutrients along with the roughage and water. That diet is called as what? Balanced diet. So our diet should be balanced. Okay. Very important. Always eat the fresh and the healthy food. Okay. Always eat fresh and healthy food. Along with the food, you should drink the maximum water, that is 8 to 10 glasses of the water. Next one, very important, if your favorite food is there, if your favorite food stuff is there, it doesn't mean that you will have so much in amount. Whatever you eat, that much only you take in your dish and that much only you finish it. Okay. So avoid overeating. Okay. So all these are the some food habits. Okay. We have to sit properly, surrounding should be clean. You should chew the food properly. You should eat regular intervals. Okay, after the regular intervals, you have to eat the green leafy vegetables, fruit. You have to take the enough amount of the water. Your diet should be balanced. Okay. Next one, always you have to eat the fresh and healthy food, and you should avoid the overeating. So all these are the good eating habits which helps for the proper digestion. Okay. Now the next one is there, that is cooking food. Okay. Now cooking food means what? There are so many different items. Okay, that we can eat without cooking. For example, we can say fruits, some vegetables that we include in the salad, okay, that we can eat without cooking. But there are the much and more, there are the so many other food stuffs are there, or food materials are there, that we have to cook and then we have to eat. Okay. But the next question is that why to cook the food? Yes, why it is necessary to cook the food? Because cooking of the food makes the food soft. Okay, cooking of the food makes the food soft. It helps to chew it properly and it helps to swallow it also very easily. Next one is there. This cooking of the food helps to make the food tasty. After cooking the foods become so much tasty. That's why we have to cook the food. And very important, because of the cooking of the food, whatever the germs which are present in the food, that all the germs will get killed and will get the fresh food and the healthy food. Okay. So this is about the cooking of the food. But there are the different methods to cook the food. For example, we can say that what's here, roasting is there, frying is there. Then also we can say baking, steaming and frying. Okay. So all these are the different methods of the cooking food. Okay. So that methods we are using, and in this way we are cooking the different types of the food. Okay. According to the food, we are changing the cooking method. For example, if you want to make a cake, then what we have to do? We have to do the baking of the cake. Okay. Next one is there, if you want to make a chapati, then you have to roast the chapati. Okay. Some, if you are making the bhajis or the vadas, then you have to make it fry. Then we have to fry. Idli, we have to give the steaming process, or we have to do the steam, or we have to provide enough amount of the steam to the idli. So in this way, all these are the different methods that we are using for the cooking of the different food materials. Okay. So this is about what? Cooking food. Now we'll go for the last point from the lesson, that is food preservation. Now what is mean by food preservation? So now see, now the summer season is going on. By mistakenly, if the milk or some food material remain outside as it is, then after some time, then what happens? Some dirty smell comes out, foul smell comes out from it. Okay. Sometimes it change in the color also, and sometimes it change in the taste also. Why is it? Because that food get waste. That food is not now useful for us. That food we cannot have. Okay. It means what? The food get waste. The food gets spoiled. We can say that. And to avoid the spoiling of the food, we have to use certain methods. Okay. We have to use certain methods, and that methods are only called as what? Food preservation. Okay. That methods we are calling as what? Food preservation. Now let's see what is the definition of the food preservation. The process by which we can prevent the food atoms. Okay, so it is the one type of the process. In that, what we are doing, we are trying to keep, or we are trying to prevent the food atoms from getting spoiling. We are trying to avoid the spoiling of the food. We are trying to avoid the wasting of the food for a long time, and it's called preservation. That methods are called as what? Preservation. Okay. So the food materials are there. After some time it will get spoiled. But to avoid that spoiling, we have to use certain methods. So because of that, using the methods, we can use that food material for the long period of the time. Okay. And that methods are called as what? Food preservation. What? Food preservation. For example, See, now the summer season is going on. You are enjoying the mango, okay? But now what your mother or your grandmother is doing, they are removing all the pulp from the mango. They are keeping that pulp into one tin. For that pulp we are calling as what? Amras, okay? So that amras we can enjoy within any month of the year. But how to preserve them? To preserve them, they are using some methods, and that methods are only called as what? Food preservation. So we stop the spoiling of the food for the long time, and that methods are called as what? Food preservation. So let's see which are the different methods which helps to preserve the food from getting spoilage or from getting spoiled, we can say that. First one is there, that is refrigerator and freezer. So if we keep the food in the refrigerator, then it keeps they decrease the temperature of the food atom, which helps to avoid the entry of the microbes, or which helps to stop the growth of the microorganisms which are present in the food. Also, if we keep the food in the freezer, then it freezes the food material. So in this way, by refrigerator or by freezing, we can use the food material for the long period of the time. Okay. Next one is there, canning and bottling. Okay. So canning and the bottling is done means in the can or in the bottle some food materials we can store. Okay. But before packing with that can or before packing with the bottle, we should try or we should remove all the microbes which are present in them. Okay. And once we open the canned food, then we have to finish it. As early as possible. Because once we open it, then the germs will enter in it and it will spoil the food. Okay. So canning, amras we are getting in a can. Some sauce are there which are getting in a bottle. So what is that? Canning and the bottling helps to preserve the food. After that, drying is there. Okay, we have to keep the food, or we have to dry the food in the sunlight. Because of that, what happens? Whatever the water is there in the food, it will get released or it will get removed, and we can use that food for the long period of time. Okay, and the last one is there, that is what? Pickling and jellying. Okay, so in the pickle, as we know, we are adding the more amount of the oil and the salt. Okay, oil and the salt. So that oil and the salt in the pickle. And jam. What is the taste of the jam? Sweet. Why it is sweet? Because we are adding the more amount of the sugar in it. Okay. So in the pickle, oil and salt, and in the jam, sugar. These things act as a preservative. These things help the food to get spoiled. Okay. So that's why they are called as what? Preservatives. By adding them, we can use the food for the long period of time. So these food items we are calling as what? Preservatives. So they helps to stop the growth of the microbes for the long period of time, and that is the reason we can use that food material for the long period of time. Okay. So these are the certain methods of the food preservation. That is what? Refrigeration, then freezing. Afterwards, what we have discussed? Bottling and canning, then drying, gelling and pickling. Okay, so all these are the food material, all these are the food preservation methods. Okay, so this is all about today. Here we have finished our first lesson. So today what we have discussed today, let's recall it. We have discussed about junk food. Also we have discussed about good eating habits for proper digestion. Next we have discussed about cooking food. After that, food preservation and their different methods. Okay. So this is all about today. Today we will stop here. We'll meet in the next video. And for today, thank you.